Welcome to Product 1's Self-Help series. In this video, we will be looking at the process of replacing components in an assembly. Creo Parametric provides functionality for replacing a component or subassembly within an assembly with another. Some of the options can do this automatically based on pre-existing relationships between the components, while others require you to first create that relationship. The function which gives the designer this ability can typically be found by right-clicking on the component, and there you can see the shortcut to replace selected component or UDF, or under the operations, and there you can see it as well. So first we're going to be looking at replacing family table components. So if we go here, you'll see that I can open a generic, and here we can see our family table for a bolt. So because family tables are set up using a generic model, they all inherently have most of the same references. So if we go and we replace this one, see that there's the family table, and we click this little open box here, and here we can see the rest of the instances within our family table. So now I'm just replacing one of them. There you can see that one is slightly longer. And if we want to replace multiple, just grab them all and we can select the one that we want. You can also replace components with reference models. Now for those unaware of reference models, it is an AAX or Advanced Assembly extension feature where components are created by using inheritance features, where, for example, a component has a machine phase as well as a casted phase. And now if we wanted to replace the casted, as an example, here we can see some interference with the casted model. If we want to replace that with the machined, here we've got our reference model option. And then we can just click OK. And there we've got our machined phase in the model. Now what about unrelated components? Because unrelated components don't necessarily contain the same reference, such as datum planes or axes, it does require more manual input. So if we go, for example, with this clamp base, hit the replace, I'm just going to untick that and switch over to unrelated. And let's pick the circular base. If we open it, so firstly I'm going to skip this edit reference table option just so you can see what happens. Now it gives us a regeneration failure and we have to go and redefine everything all over again. So I'm going to clear that, open it back up, just grab the circular base again, and now I'm going to use the edit reference table. So here you get a preview window and a highlighted reference of the original, so our rectangular base, and a table here on the right hand side for reference pairing. So if I follow the highlighted surface there, I know that's going to be similar there. Change to the next reference, I believe that is the right, yes, it's the right plane, and there we've got our top face, and now we can say okay, okay. And there we've now replaced an unrelated component into our assembly. There is also additional functionality for users with access to the Advanced Assembly extension, or AAX, called Interchange Assembly. Now it'll currently be grayed out here because I don't have one set up, because I actually want to go through the motion of how you would typically set it up. So here we can see in our family tree that I've got this component named carb.prt, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new assembly, but I'm going to change the subtype to interchange, and I'll just call it interchange as well. Oh, I have something in my memory. Let's clear that. Let's try that again. And here we are in the interchange assembly environment. So I'm going to grab that original carb.prt. Now this one will be default placed although your first component will be default constrained. And now on functional, we're going to grab our other two options. So you'll see that I'm grabbing one by the name of cob2.prt. You don't need to worry about the rest of the constraints here. It's purely just for visual purposes. And then there we have cob3. So I'm just going to move this one in a little bit. So now that I've got my three different options, so it's cob, cob2, and cob3, what we can do is we can go into our reference pairing. Now we first select the active component. So we know that cob is currently in the assembly. Then create tags based on which assembly. So there we can grab the original that I had open. And now you're going to add the other two components that you want to be part of the interchange. So I'm going to create the required tags. And here, just like on the unrelated, we've got this reference pairing table. And now, after creating the tags, we get a highlight on the original. We can select the other, got to hold control. And do the same for the next tag. The same for the front. And for the back. There we go. So now we've got all the same references for all three parts. So now if we switch back, once I go in and I say replace, we've now got the interchange option available. Now as you click on it there, what you can also do is you can have a little preview. And there's the other one, and you can also just select it directly from here. And what you'll notice is in my tree, we've got cob.prt, and it's going to change to cob3. And of course, just to show it again, show it for cob2. So now that the interchange assembly has been set up, we can use the same replace feature, but changing the type of replacement option now gives us a list of the components found within the interchange assembly. I just had to switch over to a different environment so I can also show that with the interchange assembly, it's not just components, but sub-assemblies that you can do as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just zooming into the seat here, and I'm going to swap it out with like an interchange. So let's say, for instance, and this is where the preview is very handy because it's just a number. We don't typically know what it is or which one we're looking at, so we can preview all of these. Let's just go to this one and I'll select OK. And wait for this one just to replace those components for us. And there we go. So the last option that I'm going to be showing you is replacing components by using a copy. So it's similar to creating a copy within the part environment, except now you're doing it within the context of an assembly. So you don't need to edit the definition and redefine all of your constraints all over again if you were to make a change here, but you want to still keep that original design. So what I'm going to do is change the name to, let's say, copy of clamp base, and just so we can see a clear difference. And then you can see the name changed. And let's quickly change this to about 50. And change the last one here. Let's make it proper, 150. And there we've got a whole new copy of the base. And just to show you, here is the original. So you can see the difference there. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more of Product One Self-Help series.